Hey guys, SpideyG09 here. Hope you are all having a marvelous day. As you know, I'm not a huge toy review guy. I'm more of a toy hunter, talker, conversationalist. Hopefully in some ways an educator. But I did last week get the Nightwing and Red Hood 2-pack. So I wanted to talk to you guys about that today. And, just sit down, have a conversation, and, enjoy action figures. So with that, let's roll the clip and get started. All right, let me just go ahead and confess something real quick. I started this review a couple of times already, and I have said Robin Hood like 3 or 4 times. Here we have Robins and the Red Hood. Robin Hood, easy mistake. If I do that, just laugh with me, not at me. All right. So let's take a look at this packaging here. I mean, the packaging is a huge selling point to me. Like, I don't keep many things mint on card, but there is, there's some temptation to do that here. Todd McFarlane, not Jason Todd. Todd McFarlane is, packaging these in these dynamic poses, which in some ways I don't like because it could jeopardize, the figure from being warped if it's not done well. But at the same time, it's kind of got an artistic vibe to it, comic panel vibe to it. And the way that he has displayed these, it really kind of highlights the red, the red in both figures here. And, I like it. So I'm kind of tempted to have one of these still in the package. Although, full disclosure, I open just about everything. And I didn't seek to buy 2 of these. I bought one for me and one for my buddy who's also a YouTuber, Daniel Dunn. Check out his page. Link is below. And he was going to bring me some money for picking it up for him. And then he actually found the single pack Red Hood. And, that's really all he wanted out of this 2-pack. And so right now I got an extra one and I may just keep it in the package. So we'll have to see about that. But anyhow, I mean, it's great packaging here. Looks wonderful. Couldn't fault somebody if they bought it and just kept it in the package. But man, these guys are pretty awesome to open. And, that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at these guys open today. So let's talk about Nightwing first. These come with these cards here. I can't really show you here on the good camera too well. Easier to get it to pick up on this camera. And so if you're not familiar with the DC Multiverse toys that Todd McFarlane has been doing, he is putting these trading cards in the packages, and some of them have this chrome finish. Others are more, matted. And if you're like me and you grew up in the 90s, these are pretty cool to have because, they fit in your comic card sleeves and they're cool to look at. And more importantly, they have information on the back. Let's see here. Don't know if I did that. Check that out. So we got both these cards here. Like I said, they're pretty awesome. The first thing that I noticed about Red Hood and Dick Grayson is this. When both of them are Robin, Batman's apprentice, they look rather small. Maybe they only grew once they quit being Robin. I don't know. But they both grew up to 6 foot. Well, 5'10" and 6 foot. So not the tallest of heroes, but certainly bigger than the way they were portrayed as Robin. But what do I know? So let's take a look at Dick Grayson first, Nightwing here. I mean, pretty simple design. We've got just a, all black outfit with these red highlights here. The kind of Robin logo on the chest, which I dig pretty good. And we've got the red around his calves and his shoulders here. You can tell I'm an expert toy reviewer, right? Let me just point out the obvious. But what I am saying is I just love the simplicity of it. I love how it makes this red pop here. decent face. It's pretty pale. Why do I mention that? I've had a lot of trouble getting him to not like look completely whited out in this video. It literally took me an hour to get the settings right where you could actually see the face okay without it just like it's glowing white. So I just point that out for those who do photography. You probably already know how to correct all that. I am ever learning. Head sculpt looks pretty good. Face looks pretty good. All looks pretty good. Stands up all right. One thing about McFarlane's Multiverse stuff for me is the plastic is just different than Marvel Legends and Black Series, which is what I would say I primarily collect. This is kind of a secondary, thirdary venture for me as far as a collector is concerned. So, it's more of a 7-inch scale, a little more rubbery than I'd like, and a little more of a statue type character. But for me, for the most part, I'm just going to, set these guys up in a display and leave them alone. So it's not terrible. And for the most part, these are all going to be in scale with one another because I don't mix too many lines together. So these will be in Multiverse, DC Multiverse displays with other Batmans. So pretty cool. He stood up pretty easy for me. Ankles were easy to navigate. Not too bad. Ankles, it's a big deal for me for any action figure. Like, I need you to be able to stand because I'm going to open you. I'm going to pose you standing up. Probably in more of a neutral position, but for some of my figures in a dynamic position. And so ankles and feet are a big deal in me determining whether or not it's one of my favorite figures. These guys stand up okay, but the kind of the star of the show here, not Robin Hood or Red Riding Hood, but Red Hood. It's a very important distinction between those characters. I mean, this dude just looks awesome, just with that leather jacket. This leather jacket compared to the other Red Hoods that single packed, that jacket is a little darker, and I don't know. I'm kind of torn between which one I like the most, the darker red or the darker brown or the lighter brown. I kind of think darker brown. Now I want the single pack too to be able to tell, but like I said, my buddy Daniel, who I had bought the other 2-pack for, he got the single pack and he's reviewed it. So check out his channel, check out his review. He did a really good job, and you can see the color of that jacket in comparison to this one. But these guns here, they came out kind of warped on me. These Desert Eagles, as I'm told they're called. Let's see if I can get this where you can see how it's warped. And, I mean, obviously that's an easy fix, but it was a little frustrating because, I mean, as soon as I got it opened, I wanted to play with it. I didn't want to go to the bathroom and heat it up and cool it down and all that stuff, so I haven't done that yet, but I will. This as I've said, this Red Hood is the star of the show, primarily, though, because of this kind of candy apple red here. Let's see if I can kind of capture this for you. I mean, it just looks amazing. This makes those white eyes pop. Just really incredible. Red's my favorite color, so it just really pops with that red bat logo on his chest. Now that he's back to being a good guy. Sculpted nicely. Some of the more statuesque features are the hands. There's really no hinging of the hands here. They're kind of, his forearm and wrist and hands are kind of designed to be in this kind of gun pointing pose rather than being able to, get him in a pose like that. He does have butterfly joints, so that helps some. I tell you what, there's no thigh swivel here, and if this would have had a thigh swivel, this figure could have been, you know, top 10, top 5 figure of the year for some people. But with no thigh swivel, it just really makes it difficult to get him in some of the dynamic gun poses that I want to get him in. I want to get him walking, pulling out his Desert Eagle while shooting, and just having a lot of trouble getting him to pose in that position. Feel like if I had a little more experience with these kind of particular type of ankles that McFarlane puts on these figures, that might would help me, but kind of feels like, you know, trying to figure out the right combination of twist, turn to get the ankles in the right position. But I have not been able to figure it out. I can get him to stand up just fine. That's easy, but I want him to be in a walking dynamic pose. But can't get that to happen here. It's more of an awkward look. Does have articulated toes, so you can look like you broke his foot in half. Pretty. It's a little firm, which is good. Not too loose at this point, anyways. So, I mean, that is good. I mean, but what good is an articulated toe if you can't have a thigh swivel? I just don't. Doesn't make sense. And I have now pinched my finger twice right here in the ankle where it clamps down, and that gap has pinched me twice of all things. So you can get hurt playing with your toys. So be careful, guys. All right, that's as good as that pose is going to get. Like I said, I was wanting to get him posed and more of a walking dynamic with him posed with him pulling out that Desert Eagle, but yeah, we'll have to work on that another day. So, not really the same storyline, but I'm a fan of this Flashpoint Batman that we got. It also comes with Desert Eagles, but more importantly, he's got the red, like that. So I feel like these all go together. So you can see how this scales with the Flashpoint Batman. I don't know why, but I feel like the Flashpoint Batman should be bigger than the Robins. Don't you? But he's not. He's actually standing like right at the same height as Red Hood and a little shorter than Nightwing, which is surprising to me. I just pictured Thomas Wayne being the bigger of the bunch. But as someone who loves the color red and loves Batman, these guys, they speak to me. I know it's a little bit simple, but they do. Love how they look together. Know I'm going to enjoy them on the display. And should you buy them? Yeah, I think you should. If you're a fan of Batman, a fan of DC Multiverse, you should purchase them. Not going to get the best articulation in the world, but you can get some really cool photos. They do photo very well. You know, the card said that the relationship with Batman and the Red Hood is complicated, and it is, primarily because the Joker killed Jason Todd, and he come back to life through the Lazarus Pit, and when he did, he came back as kind of a villain seeking revenge as the Red Hood took on the Joker's original identity and caused a bunch of problems until, you know, Batman shut that down. And now he's, you know, doing some, my understanding, he's a good guy. I kind of still think of him as a villain, and because Batman and the Red Hood animated cartoon is where I was introduced to the Red Hood. Introduced to Jason Todd as the Red Hood, and so that's kind of seared in my brain as the Red Hood. And that's how he'll go on my display. I'll think of him in that way, somewhat, in some ways that way. So have you gotten this 2-pack? Will you get this 2-pack? Are you going to do what it takes to get this 2-pack? Is it something that you want? Are you a Red Hood fan? Like, are you hyped up because of it? or you just, yeah, it's a good looking figure. I might get it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. I don't know. Or is it a pass for you? Let me know in the comments below. I think it's a good one. I think all DC Multiverse, all Batman fans are definitely going to want it, and maybe even some of the casual fans who are like me who really enjoyed that animated cartoon with Mark Hamill as the Joker and Robin Hood. I told you I was going to do it. Red Hood as kind of the villain right up until the end. So, all right, guys, with that is the end of our time this afternoon. If you have enjoyed your time, please like the video. And if you would like to see more videos and hang out with me in the future, please subscribe. It means a lot. If you have any questions, ask me in the comments below. I do like engaging with this community. And with that, guys, I hope you have a marvelous day. Love you. Take care.